In 1912, the largest ship ever built rose as a monument to human ambition. They called it unsinkable. Not even God can sink the Titanic, they said. But the ocean doesn't listen to arrogance, and history doesn't forgive those who defy the impossible. Before touching the ocean, the Titanic was born of fire, sweat, and the promise of a new era. In Belfast, every hammer that echoed in the shipyards was the sound of an empire that believed itself invincible.
Watch the sparks below.
At the turn of the century, humanity believed it had conquered everything. But behind the glow of lamps and steel, an older enemy was also growing blind confidence. While the giant took shape, Belfast was divided. On one side, the powerful who financed the impossible. On the other, the workers who built it without ever setting foot on it.
Read all about it. Special morning edition. Get your Belfast news here.
Latest news this morning, sir. That's a penny, if you please. Thank you.
Unsinkable, the phrase that spread through the newspapers. The technological race, British pride. That phrase was not just marketing, but a symbol of the human mentality of absolute domination over nature. 1912. A world in which each person's destiny was written in their social class, like tattoos that could not be removed.
3 million rivets, lad. She's the finest thing afloat, a masterpiece of engineering.
Aye, built right here by Belfast's finest.
The craftsmanship is unbelievable. The voyage will set a new standard for luxury.
Belfast should be very proud.
Men shaped steel as if they were shaping the future. None of them knew it, but within that growing colossus lay something heavier than steel. The pride of a civilization that believed it could dominate nature. The Titanic began as a dream and would become a warning.
Look at her, towering over everything.
It's a sight to behold.
For the wealthy, the Titanic was living proof that progress belonged to them. They dressed in luxury, wielded influence, and believed that nothing could stop them. They called him unsinkable. They didn't know that no wealth sinks faster than vanity.
Today we celebrate not only steel and engineering, but the human effort that gave life to this ship. It is with respect and gratitude that I present Titanic. Nothing here was done by one man alone, but by the collective effort of thousands. May he sail safely, and always remember that, however great we may be, the sea deserves respect.
Heave on that line now.
Easy with her, easy.
All luggage for the main deck this way. Hurry along now, gentlemen. The tide waits for no man.
She is magnificent, isn't she?
Absolutely staggering. I can hardly believe she floats.
In the basements, entire families carried dreams as heavy as the suitcases they brought. They were the forgotten ones, those the world called third class, as if hope had categories. They weren't traveling for luxury. They were traveling to escape a destiny that had always let them down.
Come on, kids, and don't look back.
When the ship left Southampton, it carried not only passengers, it carried the faith of an era that believed it had overcome all limits. The Titanic carried not only 2,200 people on board, but also the weight of a phrase that echoed like a prophecy, the phrase that would transcend history. The Titanic set sail as humanity's masterpiece, and sailed towards its destiny. On board, three realities traveled in parallel. In first class, glittering luxury reflected the height of an era of excess. In second class, families sought new opportunities. And in third class, men, women, and children carried the weight of hope, the promise of a life that could finally begin. Each night, the ocean became a black mirror, reflecting stars that seemed to silently watch over that floating city. On the icy horizon, the shadow of an iceberg loomed an immense, silent threat, indifferent to the dreams on board. In the silence of the early morning, the icy specter of an iceberg appeared on the horizon. A white shadow, indifferent to human dreams. But that night, destiny would change. With danger behind it, the Titanic cut through the sea towards dawn. The ocean, once menacing, now became an open path, almost a friend. It continued on, leaving the ice behind, carrying forward stories that had not yet been written. On board, social boundaries began to dissolve. A long journey has the power to bring strangers closer together. When the Titanic finally slowed down, it wasn't just a ship reaching its destination. It was the dreams of thousands of lives taking on a new form. The Titanic didn't arrive alone. It brought stories, hopes, new lives about to be born. It was more than a ship. It was a rebirth. The first class saw progress. The second saw opportunity. The third saw rebirth.
We finally made it. Look, there he is.
Oh, thank heavens you're safe.
All right, keep the line moving there.
And so, the ship that once represented human arrogance came to represent something greater, the chance to start over. In this alternate world, the Titanic became not a symbol of tragedy, but of hope, A miracle of steel that crossed the Atlantic intact, carrying differences, stories, and destinies until the dawn of the New World.